We begin tonight, the same night that we left off, where we last met. And for those who may not remember, as it's been quite a bit of time in real time, though not for our kindred, it was a night where the crew, the coterie, met up together for an evening at Vital Medical Group to celebrate the recent earnings, the quarterly or the first half of the year earnings and celebrations. Dorian gave a mediocre speech to his employees about the earnings of the first half and how he hopes leading into the holiday season that they will be able to deliver even more to the company and to consumers of Vital Medical. And as the siblings discussed recent learnings and findings from Willow specifically in her investigations of a certain church where hunters were located, there was some talk of agreements on Willow taking next steps with the Anarchs, delivering some of the evidence that she found, the bullets and the government papers, confirming that this is not just an operation from the church, but also involving the government with hunters. Now, as that discussion happened among the siblings and they all took their leave for the evening, two of the siblings were approached by their father, Silas Jr. and Val, where Silas Sr. brought them to a discussion to try to make an agreement, a deal perhaps, with two of his children, the two who he claimed to be the more competent of his children. In that, so they did what he thought was the right path since their embrace, to get close within the circles of the Camarilla, specifically their clans and their clans' involvement in the Camarilla. And Silas and Val proved that in that Val successfully working with her sire Annabelle at the Succubus Club, and Silas working his way into the inner circles of the Tremere Chantry and as an acolyte within the Chantry. Yet his other two children, Willow, a borderline anarch, and Dorian, a failed Ventrue in his eyes, did not pass what he thought was success. And with that, he made an offer for them to leave Chicago and return after what he says is to come. This isn't leaving Chicago forever, but just for a certain period of time. And if they were to do so, they would be spared from what is to come next, and he would take the vials of blood that he has of them, that he has threatened to use to control them, and has used, as a matter of fact, specifically on Val and Dorian, that he would destroy those and no longer have his control over his children, the ancestral dominion that he has over them. While Silas, it seems, was not interested in the deal and had his own words to say about his father and potentially being afraid of his children and what they can do. Val, on the other hand, she said she would at least consider the offer and get back to him. And in the final moments and the exchange between son and father, Silas Sr. destroyed the vial of his son, Silas Jr., perhaps in a display that, yes, the threats, they no longer hold the same value as they once did. Perhaps this means Silas Sr. needs to defer to other means. Nonetheless, that is where we left off for the evening, to set the tone of where we once were. Now, Willow, you took your leave and made your way with Lucas back to your residence. But Dorian, you were the last to leave your company for the evening, as you made sure the last bits of things were wrapped up at the company and all of your employees took their leave. But you have resisted thus far that once dull throb, now a raging inferno within your chest. The hunger. It was something you could contain for a certain amount of time. You can hold it back as it stirs in anger against you. But as each moment passes and this night soon comes to a close and the sun rises, you feel the control slip. You feel the world around you blur. You feel the tunnel vision coming in. And every scent of blood around you, you feel heightened, as if whomever you can find next, you just need to take and feed. Because you can no longer take this hunger, this beast. It needs to be sated tonight. So my question for you, Dorian, as you're exiting the building of your company, where would you want to go to sate this hunger?
He's not gonna want to go far. I mean, I'm at hunger 5 right now. I'm sure, like you said, his vision is like tunneling. He just left a room full of his prime feeding choice. Just a buffet of executives, and he wanted to rip out all of their throats and just bathe in their blood and feed. And so he can't get that image out of his mind of like, that is, I could have just let go. Like this beast, I could have just let it go in that room. And that's what he wants to do. But whatever amount of control he has left, I'm sure he is stumbling down the alleyway, like hoping, is there some other poor, drunk junior executive that had a bit too much on a night he shouldn't have, and is...
You do, and as a matter of fact, you see something down the alleyway next to your building, your work building. You do see a junior executive, but you see him making out with a director at your company. So, and this is something you definitely did not know about. The two of them obviously look very intoxicated, and she is a director, and he works several levels under her. You see this in front of you.
I see. Okay. If Dorian could sweat, I'm sure he would be. I think he would walk up to them, and he would interrupt. Yeah. What's going on here?
And you see the two of them just break away for a second, and she's adjusting her shirt a little bit and pulling it up. He moves himself back, and Mr. Lysander, sir.
This is highly inappropriate. You know that, right?
You see the two of them look at each other, and like they were caught in the act, and they're pretty like gone at this point. They look at each other and look at you and just kind of put their heads down.
He points at the junior executive. Get the fuck out of here. Go home.
Is this gonna...
Do you know how serious this is?
Look, I understand. Are you gonna... Am I fired?
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna have a long talk about your future at this company. You know what? Step in. Let's go inside and talk about this right now. This can't wait.
Okay. And the director, she looks at you. Sir, please, he had no... this was clearly a mistake on my part, and I will take responsibility for this. I can go to HR tomorrow morning, and I can resign. You can let him keep his position.
I think Dorian at this point he is not even listening to her. He's like, is she walking inside the building or not? Like, no? Okay. And he's gonna say, you know what? That's fine. We're gonna go ahead and we'll talk about this tomorrow more. And he's gonna just start walking towards her and approaching her with just all pretense dropped in his eyes. Like, he is a menacing predator at this moment, going after her.
Okay. So the junior steps inside as you walk toward the director. And are you going?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and compel her. And he's just going to say, no, just sit right there for a moment. Just stay still. And he's going to start feeding. He's going to go right for her neck. I think with no like just wild abandon at this point. He's gonna rip at her throat, and I don't think it's gonna be a very clean.
It's not,
experience.
Because you've kept your beast waiting long enough. You waited till the very end of the night to feed, and it is a relentless tide of fury and blood as you dig into her neck and feed from her and drain her. I would like you to roll me a resist frenzy, and the difficulty is 3. You need to roll at least 3 successes, or else the beast is going to win, and you are going to drain her to the last drop.
Okay, how do you do a resist
on
here?
Yes.
I believe it's just a willpower roll, correct?
Yes.
I think it is, yeah.
Okay.
So if you click willpower and then roll willpower, should be right at the top when you click on willpower and that little pop-up comes up.
Got it. 3 successes.
3 successes. This night Dorian is spared, as his hunger and his beast is able to be momentarily quelled, and he doesn't succumb to its every deep desire. And you fight against that urge to take every last drop. But you do feed on her significantly.
He's also going to use cloud memory, and he's going to compel her to forget that this happened, obviously. But he's going to tell her with... I think you can with cloud memory, you can't replace the memory, right? It's just
No. There is something that
no new memories are formed.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's something that you can do for that. But this is just like the last couple of minutes. You can tell them to forget.
Yeah, he's gonna cloud memory, but he's gonna have completely forgotten and not have paid attention to the junior executive like at all. You know, as far as he's just gonna have forgotten about him.
So she forgets what happens, and he is left waiting in the room, thinking that he was about to get reprimanded by the CEO of his company. He waits 10, 15, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, And eventually he goes outside. He sees her in a daze, passed out probably from the drinking. A lot of drinking. It all get caught up to her. And she's just on the side, hunched over, slouched and hunched over. And Dorian is nowhere to be seen. You return to your place of residence for the evening, Dorian, with your hunger slated. I would say you take a few dots down. I would say 3 with how much you fed from her.
That's not bad. Okay.
Yeah, I'll give that to you. And you are able to rest for the evening knowing you can wake up the next morning and not have to fear your beast. For now. And we bring all of us to the next night where everyone, in entering into our next evening, I would like you all to roll rouse checks. And let me know what your hunger is at. Hunger 3.
I'm at hunger 3.
Y'all are at hunger 3. Okay. Pretty hungry. Honestly, that's not great. You certainly feel the hunger this evening. It may dampen your mood more than normal. It may make you a bit more irritated, quick to being irritated, simply because this is more than the usual 1 or 2 hunger. You're now really feeling it. And before you can even take time to consider if perhaps maybe I should go feed, go hunt, do my usual, you all for the evening receive an invitation. No matter where you are, and I know some of you may keep your residence more private, but one way or another, it comes to you an invitation for the evening for a product launch that is happening. An upcoming product launch from Bartlett and Zenith, the company of Caden Bartlett. At his HQ, at his company, there is going to be a very special product launch for a new high-end jewelry line. This is called the Helios Collection, a line of luxury jewels that also incorporate cutting-edge technology that monitors health metrics, such as blood pressure, heart rate, blood type, things like that. This is one of the first in its kind to release something that's not just smart gear, smart watches, but something more high-end, more premium, more luxury. And you're all cordially invited to attend this product launch as partners of Bartlett and Zenith, especially with Vital Medical Group. My question is, do you accept the offer? Do you attend?
Where is it?
It's at Bartlett
where
and
is it?
Zenith's headquarters, which none of you have had the pleasure of visiting his company before. You know it's located in the Loop, as many of the Ventrue buildings and Ventrue territory, and of course many of the other big company buildings are located in the Loop. You've seen it, you've driven past it, but you've never actually been there before.
Are we going to meet up before this party to talk about it?
If you so choose.
Hmm.
I would leave that to the siblings. If somebody wants to call a sibling meeting, you absolutely can, and one of you can send out the sibling symbol
I'll
in the
do it. I
sky.
have a phone.
Yeah, if anyone wants to do that.
The Lysander signal.
I mean, we wouldn't
can
know that
call.
the others. Dorian wouldn't necessarily assume that everyone was invited, even.
That's
He
true.
wouldn't know.
That's true. You have no idea that your siblings got invited or not.
Then I will call a meeting. I will page Silas on his pager, and I will call McCarthy to get a hold of Dorian.
Yep.
Dorian.
So Willow signals the Lysander signal to rally a sibling meeting, and you do try to reach out to Val, but she doesn't reply to your signals of outreach. You send messages out. You go to you send a message to the Succubus Club. She's not there. So yeah, you try to send out a line to your sister, but you hear nothing. But Dorian, Silas, the two of you get the calls, and you all convene. I would probably say at Willow, maybe your art gallery or somewhere that you want to
I'll tell them to meet
have
there.
everybody meet at the gallery before from one business party to the next. This is such as the life of the Lysanders, being invited to so many fancy events and business events.
I feel like that, you know.
Non-stop events.
So I would definitely attend the summons. When I show up, normally, I would leave a lot of times Marcus in the car, but since he has become my ghoul, he is always with me.
Oh yeah,
at
Lucas is with
these
me.
Meetings.
That's
Yes.
perfect. Attend me. I need to be attended at all times.
Silas shows up empty-handed.
No raisin song.
No raisin. No,
sun.
no.
No raisin song. She's playing a card game with Lucas probably when you walk in.
You paged.
You shut up. Perfect.
You said
How's it going, Willow?
SOS.
I did.
So,
You want to know what SOS stands for?
What does it stand for?
Summon our Silas.
Lucas
so why
laughs
did
at that.
so why did I come?
Oh. Well, I mean, I guess I could. I'll send an SOD next time.
That works.
Okay. Well,
Anyway, yes. What's going
go
on?
hold up the invitation. I
Oh,
assume you got this,
I did, yes.
Oh,
Dorian.
yeah. We all have ours on ours and hold them up.
Everyone's
Everyone
carries around their invitation.
You see the dazzling jewelry on the invitation. Some of it shimmering silver with little hints of red gems inside.
So what is this? Is this like a legit thing that they're doing? I mean, not the event. I mean, like the actual product. Do you know anything about it?
Oh yeah, I mean they're the new thing.
Would we know anything about it? Like, would I have heard? Would this? Is this a complete the first time we've heard about this?
This would probably this launch. There was they announced Project Helios and nobody. It was one of those things where it was kind of a secret and nobody really knew what it was. And this is a first event preview of it. But Bartlett and Zenith is in the medical tech industry, so that's.
Yeah.
But yeah, you didn't know it was a thing.
So we've heard, but I've heard.
But
that-
there's
I've heard
smart
Helios,
rings,
but just
right?
never.
There's smart rings out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart rings, smart watches.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, those exist, but nothing this
fancy.
luxury.
Nothing
Yeah.
like
Nothing this-
that. Like that looked
Nothing
like
that's
a
fancy.
Yeah.
super fancy ring. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know what it was, but sounds like interesting tech.
I mean, I'm sure it helps people. monitor your sleep, your heart rate. I mean, look, if it says what it does and the masses want to buy it, why not? It's only a matter of time before someone sticks some gaudy diamonds to it.
Are we gonna go? Are you going to go? Or are you both going?
A medical event, of course.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go.
You heard anything from Val?
Not since last night, no.
Hey. Well, I guess I'll go then too. I don't have anything to do.
Lucas, how are you feeling?
Better. We've done the whole transfusion thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems to work. So thank you.
Okay. Of course.
Nice. Okay. Well, are we go? Like, when is this party, by the way?
Yeah, when is it?
I would say, would it be that night?
Are we meeting up before we go, or are we?
Are you guys going?
going?
Willow, it's tonight. Are we going?
Yeah, I would say it would be this evening. So it's in the next couple of hours. If you,
Gotta change.
it seems like it'll be a nice event. So yeah, you might want to like change into a more formal attire. But yes, it is. It is for this evening.
Well, it's tonight, so we'll have to change.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get changed, and are you gonna bring Marcus, Dorian?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, I'm gonna. Lucas, do you want to go?
Sure.
It'll be fun. And by that I mean it won't be fun, but we can play I Spy.
That sounds fun.
Yay! Okay.
I mean, do you think this... Look, as much as I love the guy, could this be the night that we finally just stop working for Caden? You have what you owe him.
I have what I owe him. That's correct. However, I don't want to get in the way of what we promised Helena. But I think it would be in the best interest for Lysander family business if we continue a partnership with Caden. Or at least if I do. So all I'm saying is, just keep me out of the plan. If Caden has to go down a peg, just give me plausible deniability.
Okay.
What I gave you is all I had, so I just wanted us to be on the same page before we did something.
I understand that we made a promise, and I'm asking you guys for a favor here. Let me back out of helping with this one, so that I can keep my relationship with Caden.
What do you mean?
Helena wanted him destroyed.
Correct,
Shouldn't
but
specify.
did... I mean, I've been to Caden's dinners. He thinks of us as a coterie. I mean, we are a coterie in and of, the word itself, maybe not always aligned, but if you think myself or Willow are going to do something and you're going to get away scot-free from his retribution, he sees us as one whole.
I understand that. I don't have the best answer here. Because I'm afraid if we don't do what Helena wants, I don't want to face those consequences either. So I'm just trying to salvage it as best as I can.
I mean, he doesn't need to know it was us.
Exactly.
Look, if Willow or I hear some mumblings from the shadows, or, I don't know, Willow talks to someone and they just start venting to Willow. She can do with it what she pleases, but that doesn't mean that we have to shout it from the rafters that the Lysanders did this. We could just leak it, like that video.
Okay. If that's the plan, and if you know, if it's not going to trace back to us, but that doesn't sound like you need my help for a plan like that.
No.
We'll just keep it on the DL. And if something comes to fruition, then we'll deal with it when it arises.
I'm certainly not going to stop you from doing anything. Let's put it that way.
And I don't plan on doing anything. I'm just saying Helena did want something done.
Okay.
What time are we meeting? I'm sure should we go separate? Should we go together? Should we make a red carpet entrance?
Maybe we should. Yeah.
That might be good, actually.
The event starts at 10, and it's about 8 o'clock now, so you have like 2 hours.
Okay.
Is there a place for a helicopter to land?
Being so serious.
There may be a helipad at the top of... He does have a skyscraper level building. There could be at the top, if not his building,
I don't know,
one or two buildings over.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking. That'd be a silly entrance.
I wouldn't put it past you all.
We can show up at... It starts at 10, so probably mingling is a little bit before. So people will probably be outside to take photos around 9:45.
So get there at 9:45?
9:45.
Does that give everyone enough time?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And you haven't heard anything from Val?
Not a thing. I messaged, or I called over to the Succubus Club. I didn't hear anything. She's not there.
Well, she does that sometimes.
Yeah.
That she does.
So.
Okay.
Not the end of the world.
Well, I'll see you in a couple hours.
Okay. We're arriving together.
Yeah, you want to send a limo to come pick me up?
Yeah.
That would be good
Let's do
for the
limo
family
then.
to...
Yeah.
Or you just
Alright.
want to...
Oh,
I mean, you'll have to come down to Hyde Park, and then we'll have to go back up to the loop, so... I don't know. Pick me up at 9:15?
Yeah, that sounds good.
okay. I'll have Marcus handle the limo arrangements.
Thank you, Marcus.
Perfect. Thank you.
No problem. I got it. I'll pick you
that
all
was
up.
a big sigh, Marcus.
Marcus is like, God, fucking. I gotta
it's been a
drive all
long
the way
night.
down there.
Yeah, right?
I'm
It's
all
an
the way
early,
back.
long night already.
Yeah.
By the way,
He
Marcus
just didn't
was
come-
there when I fed on that.
Yeah,
executive.
it was
He
like-
was just standing there the whole
It was a
time.
rough night last night.
Yeah, Marcus went through it.
Like, I just... How many company... You know what? It doesn't matter. How many of these events in 1 week?
I agree. But
This is more than before you all became this. I can say that much. But
Lots of stuff.
I guess that's how it is now.
I'll see you at 9:15.
9:15.
See you at 9:15. You all get yourselves ready and prepare. Unless there's anything specific that you want to bring or get ready for the evening, I will assume you all just get some formal attire ready for the evening.
Yes.
And you do. And Marcus and Dorian are the first to leave in the limo. They head down to Hyde Park to pick up Silas, and then back into the city toward the art gallery to pick up Willow in the University of Chicago area. And you all, it's a quick trip from there down to the loop, and you make your way to Bartlett and Zenith, which, as you do pull up, it is certainly a dazzling event. As yes, red carpet event. There is part of the part of the city is like blocked off. They have barricades for arrivals of people for this event in the evening. They have valet who come and pick you up and take your vehicle, and you are able to walk in to the building. And down a red carpet, you see there is various paparazzi and individuals, and very you see a lot of faces in the city. Some faces you recognize as they're walking down the red carpet. And in particular, Dorian, you see just making their entrance is a pair that you are quite familiar with, Ballard and Sovereign, entering into the building together. The two of them chuckling and heckling each other as they walk in. Other faces that you notice, Silas, surprisingly, you see Regent Deuceable entering in. Deuceable is just at every event, it seems. Like, you see him, he was at your father's event. It seems like he's really trying, well, from your thought, is like he's trying to make good with everybody in the Camarilla, because that really is his goal, is to get the Tremere assimilated. And if that means attending some fancy Ventrue parties in this Ventrue-controlled city, he's going to do it. So you see your regent make his way in. Actually, I want you all to roll me wits and awareness. Awareness and wits.
Five successes.
5 successes. Okay.
I also have 5 successes.
5 successes.
Let's go.
Dorian, what did you roll?
Just one.
Just one? Okay. Dorian, you're focused on Ballard and Sovereign as you see the two of them enter into the building. But Willow and Silas, you're being a bit more observant of the individuals and just seeing if you can spot any other faces that you recognize. And you don't recognize these faces in particular, but there are 2 that stand out to you. Actually, 3. Silas, you notice a gentleman who he has a dark-rimmed black hat, and he is very well dressed. And you remember, you've seen him at the Chantry as well. So he is a kindred for sure. You recognize his face. You haven't really talked to him much, but you know he is definitely a Tremere. But with him, you see 2 other individuals, and Willow, they catch your eye as well. He is walking in with two individuals who are beautiful femme individuals. One has short, dark hair and is dressed very elegantly, and on her arm is a woman with long blonde hair, and the 2 of them look attached at the hip. They look very much infatuated with each other, and they stand out to you because of their beauty. It's almost like an unnatural beauty that you can't keep your eyes off. It almost reminds you of Val in some ways, the unnatural beauty that the 2 of them carry alongside this gentleman that they're walking in with. And that's just something you take in. Other than that, you try to spot any other potential kindred faces. You don't see any others. But that's what you see. The 3 of you walk down the carpet, stop and pause for a few photos, and walk into Bartlett. The pose, like Dorian. Yeah, that's so Kendall Roy coded. It's so good.
Oh my god. Little baseball hat on.
Yeah. So you all walk into a gorgeous lobby of Bartlett and Zenith. And look, Vital Medical Group has a nice lobby, but this is just dazzling. The floor looks pristinely clean. It's almost like you could see your reflection when you look at the floor below you. In this lobby, it's clearly decorated for the event. You see these beautiful chandeliers and several food, drink decor. And of course, the centerpiece, the main event, is in these glass cases. You see on display various dazzling pieces of jewelry. And that seems to be what people are viewing as they enter. They look at them, and you see there's little plaques that share like the prototypes. And there's one that shows like the history of the making of these product, where like this was in its start, the prototype, and how the technology developed, and now it's a full-blown smart device, but it's like the chip is so tiny inside of a ring. There's a bracelet and a necklace, so all three of them are on display, these various pieces of jewelry. And you see, of course, the sign of Helios in front of it, and the story of the Greek myth of Helios. And so it's very, it's very a dazzling display is what it is. And so that seems to be what people are doing. There's mingling, there's gathering, and you all just kind of take this in as you're walking in. But one thing, as you kind of, is there any conversation or any like chatter upon first entering into the building is really what I want to ask.
Yeah, I think Silas would lean into Willow and be like, I don't think Dorian's thrown a party this lavish before.
No, this is kind of crazy, honestly.
Think
You've seen the floor?
I can see my reflection in it. You can eat off that floor.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy. Why don't we throw parties like this?
Maybe Vital Medical Group needs to make some jewelry.
You know who I haven't seen here?
Who?
Well, I guess two very important people that I don't know if you've been keeping an eye out for them. Dad's not here, and his little girlfriend.
Are we inside already? Like, would we see them if they were here?
You take a look around, and I won't even have you roll for it. You don't see him.
That's kind of a relief, actually.
Yeah.
They could be late.
Possibly. Or he's making a point.
How much is that necklace?
You take a look at the little plaque underneath, and you see it is running for $2,000.
And this is supposed to what? Monitor health risks and
The
whatnot?
plaque says it lodges your sleep patterns, your heart rate, body temperature, current metabolizing rate. I don't know the word. So I'm not a doctor. I'm not a real doctor, guys. Yeah.
You don't know the words?
I don't know that.
Metabolic rate.
Metabolic. There you go. Yeah.
Everything's metabolic.
Yeah. Pretty intense to fit in that pendant.
Yeah. I mean, who is this exactly for?
Obviously, for wealthy people. There must be some expensive subscription involved, I imagine, as
With
well.
the app,
right?
of course. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the starting is like $2,000, but there's like higher. Like this one is like
Oh
the
my
little
God,
dainty.
this is a base
like,
model.
Yeah, there's like the one, and yes, of course, the subscription that you have to pay to set it up, and additional add-ons of beautiful cases, and all of course all these things. So 2,000 is the
Entry
low
level.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It just, I don't know. I feel like the people who could afford this probably have like doctors on call, don't they?
I mean, look at the people that like buy a new iPhone every year. Like, If they
That
want,
looks kinda
they want.
nice.
If I mean, look, these are nice. I'll have to give it to them.
I
And the
mean,
new-
yeah,
and
they
the
look
new
good.
the new iPhone is awesome, but you need one every year.
Oh yeah. No.
You would know. How would you know,
Really, Silas? How do you know?
I've seen.
Willow.
I watched the keynote. All right, I watched the keynote,
yeah.
and
Well,
yeah.
yeah. It's really it was good.
But anyway, I mean,
yeah.
people like the stuff. People like data. The amount of people that come into the hospital and they were saying, "Oh, but my sleep ring said I was getting enough sleep," and next thing you know, you look at their data and they're sleeping like 4 hours a night.
Yeah.
Damn.
Plus, you're selling them the
Call me out.
Alcyon.
It's a bit of. It just sounds a little bit like woo woo.
Oh well,
That's-
that's about half of what they're selling. It's the idea, right?
And it's the
What-
data, that data that comes with being able to track human
Yeah.
sleep patterns, and yeah, the data is worth more than the jewelry when it comes to end all be all.
As you all are discussing amongst yourselves, you see an individual walk up to you, the only other person you may recognize as kindred in this place. A face that, Willow, you've seen before. The face of the person who associates themselves with Caden, the Banu Hakim. He walks up to the three of you and he says, Lysanders, the Lysanders, welcome. Mr. Bartlett was expecting you all and is glad that you accepted the invitation. He would love to have some time with you all this evening. He is getting ready for a keynote later, but for now, if you would follow me, he would love to speak with you.
Okay.
How do you two know each other?
Oh, he stalked me one time into my gallery.
Interesting.
Yes, I was making sure I was delivering something to Miss Lysander.
Would I remember them from the dinner they were at?
You do recognize his face, yes. You
Yeah, I was
as well,
gonna say, did
Dorian.
we-
You
Mhm.
you guys recognize him, but you haven't really had words with him before. But you recognize his face.
I remember you from the dinner at Alinea.
Yes, I'm apologize that we haven't had the chance to properly meet. I am Pavel.
Well, Pavel, lead on.
Good to meet you.
He would follow me, and he makes an about face in a very militant manner. You can see he's-
Militaristic way.
militaristic way, yes. You can see he's very composed and very he seems to have, perhaps he does have some sort of military background, just from the way he kind of has his certain posture and the way he stands and moves about. And he heads to back past the main lobby area, and then there's down a hallway. You can see there's another room where people are having drinks, and there's a whole open bar that's being served. And past that room, down a hallway, down this hallway, you can see several portraits and plaques of the many accolades of Bartlett and Zenith as a company. And down the hallway, he leads you to a room. And opens the door, and it looks like it is a executive meeting room with a large table, mahogany table that spans across the meeting room. And at the very end of the table, you see, with a red glass in hand, none other than Caden Bartlett.
Oh, please come in, friends, please. Would you like something to drink?
Of course. What do
Yeah,
you got?
that'd be nice.
Oh, pretty much whatever you need. As the doors behind you kind of close and we're left kind of by ourselves, and you see kind of in front of him on this table, you see various cases, and in that you see more ostentatious jewelry, like kind of displayed in the front. Like this is definitely like a press room in a sense, where it's like you have some of the stuff out front, but like the really good shit is like hidden behind doors still. So this is like for the exclusive individuals to come in and check out some of the tech and jewelry. And then on the side wall, on a side table, you would see a large chest, and then you'd see like a large box with like a velvet covering over it. And he just kind of sits there and offers and gestures for you guys to take a seat. So,
Okay.
what do you think so far?
It's quite an event.
The
Really
jewelry's
outdid
nice.
yourself.
You like it?
I do. I'm always a fan
know-
of medical advancement.
Well, you've got a little bit of a cliff note in the history of this. We took a little bit of liberty based on some of the vision that Dorian has, or some things that we've discussed previously, and as well as some of your expertise. And we've not necessarily announced or shared anything too direct, but we like to lean in a little bit to Vital Medical Group and some of the partnership characteristics and the process of making this tech. I figured it would be good to help boost, important alliance businesses. So, in the right circles, there's a few key individuals that have a nod your way, as a courtesy, of course.
Well, if you ever feel like writing me a check, you know who to write it out to.
Oh, I have something better for you, actually. I think you'll really like it. Well, I'm actually not really sure. I'm not really familiar with everything, but yeah, you'll see in a bit. Willow, darling, good to see you as always.
It's nice. I've never been in your building before, but it's very beautiful.
Yeah, hopefully we change that, right? Hopefully we can get you guys in here more often, maybe have a bit more of a relationship. I feel like it's been touch and go. There's been a lot of things, that have happened, and I think for us to really be aligned and on the same page, perhaps maybe we should see each other more often, which is why I wanted to make sure you got an exclusive invite to tonight's festivities.
Right. Well, I have some design notes actually on the jewelry itself. See, and she pulls out a little notebook and a little fluffy pen.
Sure.
I was looking at some of the necklaces there, and I think you really need to lean a bit more simplistic in design, especially for the audience you're going for. You don't want to be too gaudy, and clean lines are really in now, especially if you want to. We can, I could actually just pass these on. I assume you gathered us for something.
Well, I wanted to see you.
Oh.
Can we not just have a nice night out? I mean, it's a great event. The food is flowing, the drinks are flowing. There's a few key individuals that are here. I know, actually, Silas Dusabolt's here. I think he's
That he is,
going to have
yes.
a showing in about 45 minutes. He had some interest in the tech, and I'm happy to put in a good word if you'd like.
About what? That I had a hand in
You-
creating the jewelry?
Not the jewelry, more like the medical side.
Why not?
Great. I mean, I don't have to. I don't mean to push.
No. Look, Juiceable knows me very well, and he knows what I'm capable of. But any press is good press.
Ah, what was that? Just an air of Ventrue. It was kind of nice. Now,
You do know who my father
It's-
is.
speaking of which, I was actually just going to bring that up. It's the damnedest thing. I sent him an invite, and he hasn't showed up yet. Or maybe his invite got lost in the mail. I'm not really sure on that. I'll have to check with my guy. I'm not... Typically, he'd show up to an event like this, but I haven't seen him yet. So, I mean, the night is young. Maybe he'll show up. Maybe he won't. Should spice things up a little bit. You mentioned design notes. Have you seen some of the private collection here, Willow?
No.
Oh, I mean, please take a look. And on the center table, he's going to kind of unveil each box, and you're going to see like a wide range of necklaces and
looking.
rings and bracelets. And there's like extremely gaudy, and then there's super simplistic. There's like pretty much a design for anything. And you see ones that scale up to like $20,000, like, and then, you know, some that are, you know, obviously a little bit more affordable. But this is definitely like the cream of the crop back here. And then he actually slides over some paperwork to Silas. If you wanted notes on the medical technical side, I thought you'd maybe find that a little bit more interesting than the visuals.
I'll give them a look.
Now, since it's a party and we're having fun, I thought maybe, you know, we've been going kind of back and forth a lot, you know, asking, receiving, taking, wanting, you know, all of those kind of things. And I thought, you know, I'm owed a gift very soon from my good friend Dorian. But I thought, why not give a couple tonight as well? To you all. I mean, it is the launch of a new product line, is it not? Now, Willow, we're going to do you last. Silas, I pictured you as more of a watch individual. Am I right in that?
I mean, I do like a good watch. I do take it off more often than not when doing examinations, but sure, I like a good watch.
Perfect. Would you step over here with me? And he's going to get up and he's going to go to the side table where you see this large, like, chest sitting there. This is for you.
The chest, or what's in the chest?
What's in the chest? You have to open it. I'm all for, you know, the drama of it all. Presentation, marketing, ROI, you know, all the boring stuff you don't really like. Please open it. I spared no expense, I assure you.
Okay, and Silas will open the chest.
And as you open the chest, you're going to see a few things. And Tracy will give more of the details. But at first glance, what you're going to see is on top, and this is like definitely like, this is like a box opening for like a press kit. Like it's all laid out like very, very much so where you open it and it's like, you know, everything's displayed in like a really nice way.
Yeah.
It's got like
Influencer
confetti.
PR.
Yeah, no, it's got.
I've been doing business a long time, guys. You know? And so at the very top, right, it's open. You see this very elegant, nice watch, and this is like a $15,000 watch that has the top high-end tech. This is like the cream of the crop when it comes to the watch. It's not super gaudy because he envisioned you as more of like a simplistic design, but he wanted you to have the best of the best. But sitting underneath of it and next to it, you see a few what look to be like old books and scrolls that look very old. And in the center, like sitting underneath, almost like, and again, it's like displayed to where it's not touching it. The watch is almost like floating up top on this like invisible glass piece. You see this cauldron, this bowl that has what appears to be some, whether it be like sigils, arcane kind of etchings and things inscribed into the side of it. It looks very old, but very finely made as well. And almost is in like pristine condition. And it kind of sits there as this like centerpiece. And as he kind of like presents it, he just kind of has this like smirk and smile on his face. Like he was excited to share this with you.
Silas, as you glance at it, you can tell from the first impressions that this looks like some sort of ritualistic bowl that is used for blood, for when you do a blood ritual. Generally, you put it in a vial or something, but this is like an ornate ritualistic bowl for blood magic.
That's quite the gift.
I'll wait till you see the tomes. That's for a later date, but I think you'll really like those as well. Some, I guess, I don't want to say instructions, but there's some like, history and suggestions. There's a few potential things that you might be able to glean from it to help with your work at the Chantry. I just figured we haven't had a lot of time to conversate or get to know each other, and consider this just a token of my goodwill and a hopes that maybe in the future we can collaborate on some more products or things like that.
Wow. Thank you. So
Of course.
be put to good use.
Oh, let's hope so. Okay, that was, well, spared no expense, so I hope you put it to good use. Dorian, I'm gonna admit, I got you a watch too. It's pretty nice, but you're not getting anything else because frankly, you still owe me. So you're gonna get the watch, and we'll see where the night takes us. Right?
That's fair.
Fair enough.
Just crumbles. That's fair.
And look,
Now-
like you said, I'm here to spend time.
Right.
You know.
Oh, here, and then he slides it over, and it's this like, of course it's gold. It's a gold watch that, again, spared no expense, top of the line. Like super ostentatious. Ventrue through and through, and you'll see actually in the center of it, you can actually see, like very faintly, the Ventrue symbol, like on the inside of the watch, as he kind of like stretches his arm out, and you can see he's wearing one. He's got a simple chain. He's got a ring on. Like he's part of the presentation, and so he's like very ostentatious about it. But he kind of like slides it over as an afterthought. You can kind of feel that there's still a little bit of animosity there, like
Yeah.
come on, bro, like patience is wearing thin. But then he's like, Willow, darling. Now, I was thinking, what makes sense for you? You've got such a unique style, a unique flair about you, that anything that I would dream to put on you would pale in comparison to your beauty. And I thought, well, you're going to have to take your best stab, Caden. So I felt like, why not take it a step further and make it more personable? Now, I know you have a very near and dear little friend that you keep with you at all times.
I do.
You
Little
do.
Machiavelli scurries out.
Well, I figured Machiavelli could use another friend,
What?
along with, of course, some beautiful jewelry. So yours is underneath this, and it's like the large, like kind of box with the velvet covering on it. That's like very sateen and like fancy, and it's basically like you just lift it up, and as you look, you can see it almost. You can see kind of like the riveting in it. It's definitely a cage.
He looks very intrigued. Like, how large is it? How big is the?
It's not super big. I would say it's maybe like let me factor out here, like 2 feet by like a foot and a half tall. Like it's not very massive by any means.
Okay, like fit on a table.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's on a side table right now, so
Okay.
Do I just
it's yes, please.
take this off?
Yes.
Kind of very hesitantly pulls at the velvet and kind of whooshes it off.
Willow, inside you see a cage. And as you look in the cage, you see a small white rabbit. The rabbit, though, as you look at it, you stare and it has little red eyes. The eyes red, gleam red, but something you see attached to it at like a collar, a beautiful ornate bracelet around its neck. But as you stare at the rabbit and its red eyes, suddenly you feel everything stop. And Silas, if you wouldn't mind, or Chris, if you wouldn't mind, changing the music to something something more frightening. As
What?
Willow, suddenly looking at this rabbit, it stirs something in you. The beast is unsettled by this. There's something about the white rabbit. There's something about this animal. And its pure white fur that terrifies you. And suddenly, you hear the sound of clocks all around you. Ringing. Ringing. Alarm clocks going off and off and off. Like the beginning of a Pink Floyd album. You hear it nonstop going off. The clocks. And then you look at the rabbit. And it looks at you. And you feel fear. Because Willow, I don't know if you remember. You have a folkloric block.
She does.
Specifically to white animals. What it is about them that stirs something in your soul. Something in your beast that does not like this animal. And you feel fear. So Willow, I would like you to roll me a willpower roll to resist a fear frenzy.
A willpower?
Yes.
Oopsie. Let me do this. I should just be able to click willpower, should I not?
Yeah,
You
so if you
shouldn't.
click
It should- yep.
willpower,
Oh, there it is, right.
yeah, and
I
then the
always
roll-
forget.
yep.
There it is. Oh.
Uh-oh.
I got 0 successes.
Oh!
oh.
Love that for me. Woo!
Can you spend one to re-roll it? I don't think so, right? Not those tests?
Unfortunately not. With this, you feel the fear, the terror that manifests, just like that day you were on the boat and you saw that fire. This is not something you want to be around. Something about this creature and its eyes. And that's where the madness kicks in. The spiraling goes deeper. And for the three of you, you notice this. As Willow looks at this rabbit, you're expecting some sort of reaction, but all you can see is her go completely still. And if you looked deep into her eyes, you could see the spirals of madness beginning to swirl deep within her. As this rabbit, Willow, you see this, but the rest of you don't. It begins hopping into a hole, deep down a hole, and it wants you to join down
Oh.
this hole.
Oh, Willow, it's kind of cute.
Yeah, what do you think, Willow? Do you like it?
She doesn't respond.
I
All
think
you
she
can
just tucks in very tightly. Like body language, like arms come in, and she just kind of sinks down to her knees and stares.
Hello?
Willow is
Uh,
unresponsive. She
He's
is
gonna
not
kind of
here.
look at. He's gonna kind of look at like the brothers. What's happening? Silas, Dorian.
Willow, are you okay?
Beats me.
Willow.
It's not even blinking.
Willow.
I'm gonna
Dorian's
I'm gonna
gonna go
walk
over and
over
grab-
and
Yeah.
like remove the cage like from her viewpoint, I guess, and like he'll slide it down and like kind of cover it back up.
Hayden, what the fuck did you do?
I
Was
gave
this-
her a rabbit with a bracelet. I thought that she liked animals. I thought it would be a good gesture. And the bracelet, I spared no expense. I have no idea what's going on.
The clocks
Dorian's
begin
gonna-
ringing more and more, Willow, in your ears, in your mind. The rabbit down the hole wants you to follow.
Willow, look at me. I'm gonna grab Willow and look at her in the eyes. I'm gonna try and cloud her memory of this rabbit.
Yes, you can try to do that. Go ahead and roll for this for me. Just roll me Charisma Dominate.
Charisma.
And Willow, I want you to roll me a resolve and wits to see if you can break from this while your brother tries to help snap you out of it.
Okay. That is 5 successes.
5 successes.
Yeah, but I can
I have 3.
re-roll. Okay, I don't need to.
With 5 successes, Dorian, you look and you try to just grab your sister in her state of fear and terror. And you look, and for a second, you think you do see it. You think you do see, for the first time, her eyes. You see the spirals. You see them swirling endlessly when you look deeper into her eyes. You thought it was a joke. You thought it was made up. All of the things that have been said about your sister. But for the first time, you see it. You see the spirals, the things she talks about. For just a moment, you see that pain and madness. But you look into the eyes, and as you're ready to speak to her and tell her to forget what just happened, Willow, you hear it in this moment, in this spinning madness, as the clocks and watches and alarms begin to fly past you toward the hole, wanting you to go deep down with this rabbit. You hear the echoes of your brother's voice above it all. You hear him crying out, "Willow, Willow, Willow." In an echo, "Forget." And as he says this, Dorian, you see the spirals begin to stop. And Willow, you break out of this fear for just a moment. And you do forget what just happened. The last few minutes, the projections. You remember Caden revealing something, a gift, an animal. You don't remember what it was. You remember your brother just got something, and your other brother got a watch, and now you're about to receive a gift. And suddenly, Willow's back.
There's a little blink blink.
Machiavelli crawling up your jacket or your dress that you're wearing for the evening and just goes on your shoulder.
You okay, Willow?
Yeah,
You with us again?
What happened?
You went catatonic.
You lost your shit completely.
You could say it a little nicer, but
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I clouded your memory. I made you forget.
Well, what happened?
I don't know how much we should describe to you, but whatever you saw underneath the gestures to the gift that I'm assuming is now covered,
Yeah, I covered it.
you didn't like it.
Oh,
Set you off.
I apologize, Willow. That was not my intent. It was meant genuine.
it's okay. I don't really remember, so I'm sure you didn't mean to. It just happens sometimes, I guess. It's probably just a me thing. Sorry.
Silas, roll me a occulted intelligence. Knowing that you'll probably roll 5 successes or more.
700 successes.
All the successes.
only 5.
25.
You are trying this situation, this scenario that just happened in front of you. As per usual, Silas, you try to at least decipher maybe what have happened, and you think that the animal, the pure white animal, like the purity that in some old folkloric vampiric tales that they represent purity and something higher than your own being. And that sometimes draws certain vampires away, much like other myths of entering into homes or garlic, things like that. This is one of those similar things. For Willow, perhaps specifically a rabbit triggers something else because of her own madness, and they often in some stories are associated with madness.
Well, we're not going to tell you or show you what had caused your episode. But we can talk about it later if you want.
Okay.
Are you
Would
okay?
you like a drink?
I'm okay. I just feel a little weird because it feels a little awkward.
Well, why did you think to get that gift in particular?
Honestly, I thought like a rat with a bunny was kind of like a cute together thing.
It was a bunny?
Oh.
I look at Willow to see if she's about to like wig out again.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was it's fine.
I love
It
bunnies,
hasn't-
though.
You like bunnies? You don't like bunnies?
No, I love bunnies.
I don't think you do.
Yeah.
I kind of like look at them like I'm so confused right now. Like Caden like legitimately is so lost as to like what the hell just happened. He's like looking at you guys like, is this normal? Like what the fuck's going on?
There are...
Dorian's trying to get a read on whether like Caden is genuine, that he doesn't
Yeah,
know.
you can roll me a wits and insight to see
Sure.
if Caden is just
Fantasy stuff.
playing.
In some texts that I've read, there are, you know how there's the classic garlic, entering homes, the Bible, stuff like that. In some writings from the Middle Ages, they reference certain animals that can trigger aversion or fear responses.
Oh, I've never had that happen to me before. But I guess I've never... I mean, I don't think I've seen a bunny recently.
Could this
But
happen
it
to
can't be
any
an
of us?
animal thing. Because I have Machiavelli.
It depends on your sire, your embrace. It's kind of like when we were human and we'd get tested, you know, you could test your genomes for any underlying illnesses or, you know, Parkinson's or early onsets Alzheimer's, you know, like it just happens during an embrace, something goes wrong.
There's something wrong now?
No. We
You're perfect,
Yeah.
darling.
We're
I
in
can't see
Chicago. You can
bunnies
avoid
anymore?
rabbits pretty
we
easily.
can do some more tests later.
Al looks over at the cage, like, knowing that there's a bunny in there makes her very upset in the, like, I want to touch the bunny, but apparently I can't be around bunnies anymore. This is
You know what?
very sad.
Give me a second. I need to fire my assistant. And he like walks out and he opens the door. Meredith, you're fired. Go home. Shuts the door.
Dude, Meredith lost
Damn.
because I couldn't look at a bunny. Damn.
Sorry, Dorian, go ahead and roll your
Oh, my insight
Your
was one
wisdom.
success.
Oh yes, your wits and insight.
Yeah, it was one success. and I'm lucky to have it.
Yeah. Seems genuine. Gilly can't tell one way or the other.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry I couldn't accept your gift. I do love bunnies, so you were right.
Okay. I
Maybe just
apologize.
not that bunny.
I told my assistant to get the cutest one they had. That's what she came up with. It looked pretty cute. You know, let's just. How about this? Are you more of a necklace or a bracelet or a ring?
Mm,
You know what?
How about a
Fuck
ring?
it. You're getting all three.
Okay.
Okay. Because well, that was unexpected, and I apologize.
designs
And he
she
kind of
just
looks at
criticized.
Dorian and Silas like, I apologize for whatever.
There are
That
some
was-
things. Look, we're all still very relatively young. Guessing your embrace date, Caden. There are still things that we need to figure out about ourselves.
Yeah, I hate blue cheese.
Oh, interesting.
It's awful.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, ranch all the way. Am I right?
When I could eat, you know.
I could eat blue cheese. It's fine.
But
Somehow
Willow,
that tracks.
if you want to explore this more, I'd be happy to sit down with you and we can discuss it.
Okay, maybe later.
Of course,
Caden
yeah.
said he's gonna give me all three.
He did say that,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
She stands there very expectantly.
He walks to where there's like a stack of pamphlets,
Jewelry, please.
and he just hands you one of the pamphlets. Choose one from each section.
Oh, you don't have them.
Well, I mean, this is prototypes, and I had certain things custom made and done ahead of time. As you can see, as he kind of points to like the chest for Silas and the watch that Dorian's been given, and then he kind of like starts to gesture towards the cage, and then just is like, "But I think maybe perhaps we could do something better for you, a custom
You know-
piece, or find something you like." And
Do you just want my watch, Willow?
No, I don't want to watch. Why do I need to tell time?
I don't know.
you're not appreciative of my gifts, Dorian.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
no,
already getting
I
something.
appreciate it in the spirit that it was given. Just figured if Willow wanted something now.
No,
She's
I
a big
think
girl; she can take care of herself.
Yeah. I think a custom thing sounds great.
Perfect. We can set up a time. You can meet with one or two or three of my people, and
You're
we
not
can
going to be
figure
there.
something out. I mean, I can be if you'd like me to be.
Well, you picked everybody else's out.
Yeah, but you want something custom. I wouldn't be picking it out, would I?
Oh, she does a little eye narrow, like, oh.
But then
I
it's
mean, I
not like
can.
it's from you.
Well, I'm paying for it.
That's not enough. It's easy to get men to pay for things.
Well, then, do you want me to pick out something for you?
Yes.
Okay. Where do you want me to ship that?
Why don't you just deliver it in person?
Sure.
Okay.
Right. Well, before all of that happened, we were celebrating, and I don't want to keep you too long here, as obviously it's a busy night for myself, but I felt like it was important to bring you all in and have a conversation and share some mostly pleasantries. And, well, of course, I was excited to give a few gifts.
Speaking of gifts, thanks for the gifted subs, Retro.
Thank you, Retro.
Yeah,
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Retro. Thanks, Evan.
It's like perfect timing.
Yep. How about that drink?
Oh, yeah.
Of course. And he'll go and like he'll open like the side door that's like opposite of like where you entered in the hallway. And as he kind of like opens, well, actually he'll take like this old ornate key that's like ostentatious and like just like screams
this
like
big.
ancient Ventrue, like pinnacle, and like he like goes and he unlocks the door, and like when you go in, you pretty much see like a buffet, but for your taste. And so there's like a few individuals in there. There's like, like bagged eye. There's like vitae and like glasses, like whatever you want, it's in there. And like he's like, please help yourself.
And Silas will go just grab whatever. He's not picky.
For those of you who would like to, you can
Yes.
partake and feed 1 dot of hunger
Bless.
to at least bring you down to hunger 2. A little
Blessings.
less festering from the beast when you feed for this evening.
Yes. Thank goodness.
I think maybe when Willow's in there, he might like step up like to the side of her. And, you sure you're all right?
Yeah, you didn't know,
I-
right?
No, I still don't know what happened, and I pride myself in knowing as much as I can. And that's the first time I've had a gift that badly rejected. I have to admit, my pride's a little hurt.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's totally fine.
It was probably a really adorable bunny.
Well, it's not the first gift I've given you either. So.
What?
Oh, come on now. You had a delivery. Didn't play really nice with my friend, but
Oh, that's because I thought he was a stalker.
well, it's kind of his thing, I suppose, but
He's really weird.
he's not weird.
He's a little weird.
Aren't we all a little weird?
Well, yeah, but, men following you at night's scary.
Fair enough. I can't really have him wait for the daytime, though, can I?
No, but he could announce himself. He could walk up and say, Banu Hakim.
Mm. Mm.
Announce himself.
I'm sure he would love to do that. Banu Hakim. Fair enough. Well, I hope you appreciate both gifts.
I
Again,
do.
apologize.
I very much do. And you said you'd never seen anything like that before, but can I ask you a personal question?
Sure. We're in the midst of getting to know each other, are we not?
I just realized Silas was talking about how we were all very young, but and I don't mean to be impolite, but I have no idea how old you are.
How old do I look?
Well, I suppose you wouldn't have aged since you were embraced, so I guess physically,
She kind of looks him over.
I don't imagine. Maybe you're Silas's age? Silas Jr. No, Silas Sr.
I mean, I'd look really good if I was Silas Senior's and, looking
yeah,
like this.
that would be something. I don't know. 30?
I'm a bit older.
Oh, like when you were embraced, you were older? I imagine you're older, obviously.
Yeah, you're picking it up.
Huh. So you're not going to tell me?
Not yet.
Well, I could tell you how old I am as a trade.
As a trade. Oh, how Ventrue of you. Okay. What kind of deal are we making here, Willow?
Well, I'm just giving you my age in return for your age.
Well, see, a gentleman would never ask a lady her age.
But I'm offering it.
Mm.
So you didn't ask.
Well, where's the mystery in that?
I'm already weird enough. I don't need any more mystery.
Fair enough. I'll have to pass for now.
This isn't Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, that show's boring anyway.
Yeah, it is. It's okay. I forgive you. But you should tell me sometime.
Sure, in time. I'd like to know as well.
Okay.
And she picks out a little drink.
Pavel comes up to you, Kate, and says, "Sir, your next meeting with Mr. Deuceable is in 15 minutes."
Ah, yes. And then let the other two know that I'll be concluding with them tonight.
Understood.
Right. Unfortunately, I have pressing matters. It is a launch after all. I hope you enjoy the gifts. If you need help, I can have some people carry out the chest for you, Silas.
That'd be great.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, feel free to stick around, drink if you'd like. Enjoy the party. I'm going to be kind of pulled away, busy night. I did want to have a quick chat with Dorian, if that was okay.
Of course.
You guys got
Oh.
business. Understood.
Right. Silas, speaking of which,
Yes.
I'd love to have some discussions with you at some point. I do think that there's some mutually beneficial arrangements that we could make. And if I'm truly aligning with all of you, I feel like it's important to make sure everybody's at the table and, well, we're all working towards things together.
I'm always down for open discussion.
Fantastic. Enjoy the bowl. Cauldron. thing.
No offense, but I can't wait for this party to be over to go inspect them.
I know this isn't really your scene. Well, that's tech side's kind of cool, And again, I mean, feel free if you want to have any insight or conversations about that. I'm more than happy to have it.
I guess we'll be in touch.
Great.
Come on, Willow.
Okay.
Willow,
want-
always a pleasure. Always a head turner.
Bye, Caden. I'll see you later. Let me know. You can contact Lucas about when we're gonna meet for our thing.
Who's Lucas?
He's my guy.
I'm kidding. I know who Lucas is.
Yeah, you come on.
I know who everyone is. Sure. Yeah, I'll have my people reach out. We'll figure
Okay.
something out.
See you later. Bye. Have a good night.
Take care.
Come, Willow.
And she'll go with Silas.
As the two of you exit, Silas, you walk down the hall and you see Regent Deuceable mingling with somebody, but as he catches your eye, he sees you and, Silas.
Regent Deuceable, how are you?
Good to see you here. Doing well. I'm just getting ready for my meeting with Mr. Bartlett. Hope yours went well.
They always do.
I didn't have a chance to catch you at the Chantry the start of this evening, but I do have something I'd like to ask you about later, if you wouldn't mind seeing me tonight, if you have the time, or tomorrow night.
I will be there tonight.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You as well. And we cut back to Dorian and Caden, but before we do that, why don't we take a break? Because I gotta pee.
It's piddle time.
It is. It is.
Piddle
So let's take a break, and then when we return, we will have a discussion with Dorian and Caden. So don't go anywhere, everybody. We'll be back in just a bit. BRB. Hello, 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 everybody. We are back for the second half of Ancestral Blood. Welcome back. Hope you all got your bio breaks and your snacks. And sit back, relax, and enjoy the second half of our chronicle this evening. Now, Caden, you say your goodbyes to Silas and Willow as you watch them walk down the hall, and you shut the door and turn to see Dorian in the meeting room looking at you, and it is just the two of you in the room.
Well, that was an unexpected turn of events.
Yeah, that was strange.
I mean-
I believe you. You didn't have anything to do with that.
Oh yeah, no, Meredith is fired. So
I mean, it wasn't really her fault either, but
she did pick out the bunny, though.
your company.
Fair enough. You know, I probably should have kept her around to feed on her and then cut her loose, but oh well. I figured we should have a quick chat, right?
Yeah,
Maybe catch up a little bit.
we have not been able to conclude this business properly. And Dorian's gonna pat at his side there, gesturing towards the data that he has for Caden as they agreed on.
You're very quiet, by the way, Bijan. I don't know if
Am I?
I don't know if anybody
I thought I
else.
fixed that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it just might be
A
your
little
cadence.
A little mysterious.
Yeah.
I apologize. Oh yeah.
It's hard to be
jeez.
dramatic and stand over here on the other side of the table and hear you, Dorian.
uh, yeah. We've
You have it.
needed to conclude this business for a while. Yes, I do have it.
Well then.
And Dorian's gonna pull a memory card out of his pocket, walk most of the way over to Caden and put it on the table and just gently slide it right into his area.
Kane's gonna look down at it for a second. Then he's gonna take it and look, and then like hold it in his hand for a second before he slides it into a jacket pocket on the inside. Now, I assume there's no copies or anything of the sort.
I stuck directly to the letter of our agreement. There are no copies. I'll say it explicitly. I'm not trying to be any wordsmith about it here.
Mm. Well, that's good. That's good. I like someone who can keep their word. You know, our word is a lot of what we have. Is it not?
I agree. You know, I took tonight as a gesture from you, as I assume it was meant to be. The gifts bringing us here, inviting us here, not inviting Dad. I get it. And I want to shoot straight from here on out. I
Me
want to get
too.
locked in with this partnership.
Well, then what does that mean?
We talked a little bit about it at our last meeting, but we still had this business to conclude. So I understand you were a little hesitant. It's going to be time to move against Dad soon. I want to make sure that we have as many pieces in place as possible. And that's the priority, first of all. I haven't spoken with Ballard and Sovereign since the night of the party. But I think I scared them enough to understand what might be at stake for them. I want to know if you're committed to moving against my father.
There was a time we had a conversation, and when this all came about, I asked you, should someone move against me, I'd want your full support. And something along the lines of, well, that's not my problem if you have problems with certain individuals and entities. And I haven't forgotten that, Dorian. But you have held up your end. So I'm willing to support and help as I can. But I'm curious as to the scalability of my part in all of this. You said you wanted to get all of your pieces in a row. Now you're a smart individual. I know you have other pieces. I'd love to know what those are. Maybe we can corral everyone together, tackle it, figure out the problem, find a solution.
Yeah. No, I'm willing to share with you everything that we know. I'm going to need to be honest with you going forward here, as we have been up to this point. But what I mean is, it's time to put the cards all out on the table.
Agreed.
Before, when we first spoke of this partnership, and I told you your problems were your own, if you help me in this, your problems could become my problems.
My problems are already your problems. We already agreed to a deal that solidified this.
I meant all the way in.
Oh, so you do deals halfway. Is that what you're telling me?
Before I had expressed hesitation, I said I wouldn't stop you from doing what you wanted to do against the wolves. I'm telling you right now, if you want a partner against them all in, you have me here.
You. I have you. And that's great. And that makes me happy. How tight is the family these days? How in are you with what your siblings have been up to and their buy-in of my direct support and being a part of this? In a lot of ways, we're like a coterie now. I mean, we're seen run around with each other so much. People might get confused.
Well, the family has its problems. That's obvious. And I'd love to say that we're all on the same page at all times, but that's clearly not true. But we've come to an understanding. Silas is no longer a part of the family business anymore. Not in
Shame.
a direct capacity.
He's brilliant.
And
right?
while we don't... I'm sorry, what was that?
He's brilliant, right?
I know. It
But I
doesn't
understand.
really matter, though.
Business is business.
The thing is that we have come to an understanding. And that understanding is that our father needs to go down. And in order to do that, we are going to need a wider alliance with a lot of other kindred. And in my opinion, most importantly, with the Camarilla. And if we make the right moves and we make the right deals, It's not going to matter, those disagreements, because we're going to have the power solidified with the Camarilla and with our combined efforts. We can make sure that all of our goals are met, both yours and my family's, even if our family doesn't always agree on what those goals are. I will make sure that they're realized.
There's the ambition. Do you see your father as a bad fruit to be trimmed from the tree, I would say, right?
If you had to simplify it.
And you're wanting the Camarilla's backing, which is kind of important in situations like these. And I feel like we're in a very good position here based on the circumstances and the threats already made with your father and them, and not really seeing eye to eye. I think that that's fine. My problem that I have, one, maybe two hiccups, is kind of chaotic in nature. One would say Anarch. You see, the Camarilla and the Anarchs, I mean, I don't know if you know the history, but they don't really see eye to eye. That's not necessarily a problem because they have the prince's protection, and so far everything's fine. But you wanting a seat at the Camarilla and having family with such close ties to, well, opposing factions could present a problem. You do realize this, right?
Only if relations break down with the prince and the Anarchs.
They will, Dorian.
And do you know something I don't on that front?
I don't need to know something. It's the fucking Anarchs. Their whole point is to topple whatever regime is in front of them. They've been doing it since the dawn of time.
But if it's not imminent, it's not a problem that concerns us now. As long as the prince sanctions the Anarchs, then we're free to make deals with them. And if that becomes a problem down the line, then Willow will have to make a choice about where her allegiance lies.
So you know. That's information I wanted. I like Willow. She's a big girl. She can take care of herself. When it comes to me, I have plausible deniability. I don't know anything. I'm telling you and giving you a bone that for your brother and your other sister, should the Camarilla come calling about this, it could be a very serious problem. I'm willing to deny it up and down. I have no knowledge. We just work together. But as soon as someone finds out important enough, I'm just saying it could be a very serious problem, especially for someone who's trying to ingratiate themselves with the Camarilla. And if they found out that you know or knew and then didn't bring it to them, you see where this is going? It's hard to ingratiate someone when you're hiding so many things.
I see your point.
Now, I'm trying to not make this sound like a threat because it's not. I'm just trying to show you the elephant in the room, as it were. That this is a problem. Maybe not for tonight. Maybe not next week. But the closer you get to the inner circle, especially when you're trying to pull favorites to have, say, a very prominent figure eliminated, people are going to look around. They're going to dig. They're going to find things. And I'm just saying you need to have an answer for that. Some would say you should get out ahead of it. Right? Like the good Ventrue you are.
You're
But I leave
saying
that for you to decide.
You're saying I should turn her in. I should reveal Turn her in.
I'm not-
I mean, it's
I'm
not.
not saying
It's
turn
not a
her in.
crime what she's doing.
It's not. It's about perspective. I'm not saying you turn her in. I'm just saying that you need to be aware of the problem and work on a solution. That's all I'm saying. I want you to succeed, Dorian. It's going to be hard to do that if you're hiding your family, a Lysander with a long history. That's all I'm saying, friend.
Look, this family has its problems, but she's still my sister. All right, I'm not gonna throw her under any bus, whether it's the Camarilla or not.
I didn't say that you should. I just want you to weigh your options and let it be known tonight. I let you know that I know. And I have your back on this. I have her back on this. I'm not going to say anything. And if they ask me, I don't know anything. Not my family. You think I would work with someone that close to something? No. Plausible deniability. I'm just saying you need to have a solution, a plan B ready to go.
Okay, I hear you.
I want you at the table. There's a lot of people that want to see you succeed. I want to see you succeed. That's why we're having this conversation. I know it's difficult, and I'm sorry I'm the one that has to bring it to you, but
Caden,
you're in the big leagues.
I am at the table now,
You are.
and this is a partnership.
It is.
You got my foot in the door here, but there's a reason Sovereign and Ballard were scared of me, Caden,
Mm.
and of this family. And I'm not sure if you're 100% aware of that, and I'm not saying that as a threat either. I'm saying this in the terms of full disclosure, and we'll have plenty more to talk about soon, but this is a alliance. We're not a tool for you to be used.
Mm.
We have a lot to offer each other. And I'd like to see this alliance flourish, because I do think that we can recreate the great history of our families together.
Well, I'm in. I am curious as to what you're hinting at.
We'll have to talk more soon, when I have more details from the rest of our assets that we're
Hmm.
gathering. We should schedule a meeting.
Let's. We can finalize some plans. If you can maybe encrypt or encode some direction or requests, you can tell me now of things that you might need. I can look into things discreetly.
Yeah, you know what? We still need more information on Sierra Van Buris.
Mm.
I'm sure you know of her and have some information. But
I do all right.
you said you know everything, so I'm hoping that everything extends to...
I said mostly everything. I didn't know that that would happen to Willow. But I pride myself in being connected. I have some information already, but I can do a little bit more digging, if it were. I have some people that owe me some favors, and it's all about ingratiating yourself within the Camarilla. And, well, damn it, I'm about as ingratiated as you can get, Dorian. I don't know if you know this, but everybody fucking loves me.
Well, between four of our families, the four of our names, with Sovereign and Ballard, I mean, that is a large section of the Ventrue power in Chicago. And the prince, he is the prince, but he's still a Ventrue, and he still navigates Ventrue politics. I think we need to make sure that when the time comes, that we need to put pressure on the Ventrue to secure our power within the circles of Chicago, that we have the backing of the rest of the families. And I think you can help make that happen.
And I will. I will. There's one other thing I wanted to bring to light. I think your brother could be very useful potentially with your father. Tremere have such incredible and interesting ways to manipulate individuals. They can do damage without being in the same room. I don't know all the details, but I'll look into, well, your dad's girlfriend or business partner or whatever you want to say. I'm meeting Deuceable after this, and they're really interested in getting in with the Camarilla. And I think I might be able to persuade him to help in some capacities. Someone like that has a lot of power. And if you need certain things put together to call it an insurance policy, help slow your father, or, well, you get the idea. Maybe Silas is a part of that too.
I'm sure he could be convinced, especially if Deuceable's involved. If you can get Deuceable, that would be something.
It's the tail-old trick. Find what someone wants, use it to your advantage. They want in. I'm in. My word carries weight. You know that. So, that's transparency, which I do believe I'm about 5 minutes over, but he can stew a little bit. Is there anything else you needed? Oh, I almost forgot. He kind of taps his jacket. You owe me a name for where you got this footage.
Okay. Yeah. And he would tell him, I'm blanking. It was
Thea.
Thea, right?
Yep.
Who is now
Dead.
dead.
Final death.
So, yeah, I guess, you know what? This is not going to come back
At
on me
this
as hard
point,
as...
yeah, you can drop the name. Because she's dead.
Yeah, oh man, it sucks. I guess I have to tell you now. It was Thea.
I had
don't
my
know
suspicions.
What grudge she has against you, but she was really hoping to see you knock down a peg. What did you do?
Gentleman never kisses and tells, Dorian.
Okay, so you kissed her. Okay.
Oh, we did more than that, my friend. Look, I've also promised you I wouldn't act on that information. Guess I won't. Problem solved.
Yeah, it looks like it was.
I appreciate your candor in coming to me and wanting to make this work. I do want to make this work, and I agree with you. I think we can be the pinnacle for this. And I'm already ingratiated with the prince. Did you know, by the way, here's a fun little tidbit. I'm working on one of his specific coteries now due to some unforeseen incidents with my own. And we've got some work.
Really?
Yeah. It pays to be connected, Dorian. Pays to be connected.
Well, you really shouldn't keep Deucebel waiting that long.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't want to stretch it too much. Just one more thing before you leave. Do you think he's more of a watch guy or like a necklace? He kind of seems like a necklace guy, right?
Does he seem like a necklace guy?
Yeah, I thought maybe with some like,
Okay.
I had something kind of made. I went back and forth. I wasn't really sure, but I
Deucebel's got
think
the
he's a
drip.
necklace guy. I think he's a
Yeah.
necklace guy.
Okay.
He's a fashionable guy.
I trust you. I mean, these are nice, and Dorian's gonna put on his watch.
It looks good.
I'm not.
And
let's
and
hope
he's
I don't
gonna
go
Caden's gonna
catatonic.
flash his, and it's the same, but like you can like at a passing glance, it's definitely more expensive. but
Got a few
but,
more
like,
diamonds
it's like
in
it's
it.
definitely got a few more diamonds in it. Like he's got like the top of the top. So, but regardless, he kind of stands up and he offers his hand out to shake yours.
And Dorian will take his hand.
Let's get things done. Let me know when you want to meet. Let me know what else you need me to do. Any requests you have. I would recommend trying to keep your brother close. Tremere are, well,
Oh, trust me, I know. Marcus will reach out to you soon, and we'll talk about the next step in this partnership.
great. Oh, again, stop eating my employees, okay? Like there's a lot of mess, okay? Can you just tone it down a little bit, okay?
Really?
Nah, I'm just kidding. As he kind of laughs and he pats you on the shoulder and he kind of opens the door and Deucebel, my friend, please come in. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Just had a few things to finish.
Of course, I can always wait for a Lysander meeting. And Deucebel nods to you, Dorian, and
Deucebel?
he enters the room with you, Caden.
And then he's just, as he's like leaving, the two might still be around if you're interested, Dorian, but pleasure as always.
Of course. And yeah, he'll exit the door,
Yeah.
slowly closing behind him.
And as it closes, you just immediately hear Caden, that's a mighty fine necklace you have, but you know what? As the door kind of closes and
I'm envisioning
Caden
that,
goes
like,
back to the
Godfather scene with the door closing with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, arm on his shoulder, like, let me show you what you can fit so many spells in this thing, you know. And
and
Caden
as
goes
soon
about
as
his
he
business.
leaves the room, he's gonna take the watch off because he still doesn't fully trust him.
Damn. And we see that Dorian closing the door and walking down the hallway, and you see him immediately take the watch off, throw it in the back pocket, and walk down the hallway to reunite with his siblings as we hear Caden and his boisterous voice talking to Deucebel about some new product. And that is where we see the end. Unless anybody has anything else they want to do with Caden. I don't think so, but I will just leave it there just in case. But I believe that is where we see the end of Caden for this evening and for this session. So thank you, Caden Bartlett, for joining us, as always.
Always a
Thank you,
pleasure.
Adam.
Thank you,
And-
Adam. So
Until
good.
next time, when we continue our Ventrue negotiations with Caden, I'm sure we will see you soon. Now, Dorian, you reconvene with your two siblings who have been in the main room with Lucas and Marcus, Marcus and Lucas have been admiring some of the other jewelry. It looks like there's some others that Caden has on display that are meant to be special. They're like very special edition, the most high-end ones that are gifts for very important people in the city. One you see for like the Chicago mayor and his wife, and one you see for various celebrities. Like there's clearly Caden has got many of the pieces of jewelry as these extravagant gifts for very important people within the city. And the three of you reconvene. I assume now that the business is done, you don't really have much more reason to stay here and probably want to take your leave sometime soon. I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless any of the other siblings are gonna cause a ruckus.
I think I think everyone knows it, but in Silas fashion, he'd be like, "Please don't put any of this jewelry on. We don't know
obviously not.
if there's like trackers in
yeah.
them or something."
I was gonna say, Dorian just like hands it right to you, just assuming that you're going to want to like look into them.
I'll
Thank
give you
you.
mine when I get it.
I'm going to run a fine-tooth comb, make sure there's nothing fucky in these jewelries.
Right.
Well, this was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it easy tonight,
Uh,
Willow.
Right. No looking at little rabbits.
I would say
Yeah.
anything fluffy until we can get to the bottom of what troubled you.
But not you, Machiavelli. Don't worry.
Machiavelli's
Can
fine.
you-
If you've had him for this long, he's just fine.
Maybe Silas can figure out exactly what's going on, what triggers it later.
I might need you on hand, just in case something does happen. That was quick thinking, Dorian.
As soon as we get a hold of Val, I think we need to have that talk.
Oh, the big one.
Why don't we go to the limo? I have something to tell you.
Yeah.
Marcus speaks up. I will go to the valet and get it ready to head out. I think it's about that time.
About that time.
Him and Lucas head out. They go to the valet to grab your limo. The three of you get into the back seat, spread out, and Marcus begins driving down out of the loop back into the city of Chicago.
So, I didn't think much of it, but last night something happened.
Oh,
Something happened.
Yes, and I wanted to be a man of my word and honor the no more secrets thing. Last night, Father pulled up to the chantry as I was walking in. In the back was Val, already picked up. He must have followed her from the party.
Mm-hmm.
He offered us a choice. Of course, he had those little vials of blood with him, our blood, mine and Val's. Made some threatening claims about leaving the city. And I called him on his bluff.
what do you mean, leaving the city?
He wanted Val and I to leave.
Do you know why?
Said something about how we are making waves within our clans. The Tremere, the Toreador.
And you told him to shove it up his ass?
Essentially, yes. I said he was afraid of Val and I and the positions that we've gained. The only reason he'd want us to leave is fear tactics? I don't know. But he crushed mine after I called him out on his bluff. Well, what I assumed was a bluff. He crushed it right in front of me. In the limo.
That's
So
good, though, isn't it?
That's great.
I was
Are
sure.
you sure that that was your... Are you sure that he wasn't lying about it?
I mean, I couldn't
Crush
confirm.
a random vial of blood?
I didn't taste it. No, Dad's not one
I'm
for
just putting it out there.
Dad's
That's
not
the
one
kind
for
of crazy...
theatrics.
But he is one for schemes.
No, I couldn't confirm that that was in fact my blood. No.
I'm just... The thought just came to me, that's all.
Did he give you a time frame?
He said soon.
Huh.
He said it wouldn't be forever, just until things died down, essentially.
So he
Wait.
intends to do something.
You don't think that maybe after you left, Val went back and talked to him?
She's not here.
I was dropped off first.
She wouldn't. Right?
You don't know.
Like she wouldn't leave us. Not Val.
I'm going to make a roll. How much... I know I kind of ask this all the time because it's kind of our first one. How much would I know about blood bonds? And like the intricacies of them?
You would be pretty familiar, mostly because of the history with the Tremere, and you've studied up on blood bonds because of that. So you would be familiar.
If Val did leave, couldn't be for long. Just like Lucas in the state that he was in, she would need to feed off Annabelle.
But
Or
if she's leaving at Dad's request,
she'd be in
what is
agony
she?
within a week or two, if not shorter.
Okay. I'm just saying. Like, does that mean that we can't trust Val now?
Could we trust her after the blood bond?
I mean, how strong can it be? I mean, we're family.
You know how Lucas felt like he was dying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not saying we can't trust Val. Look, everyone has their reasons to do what they want to do. But if... Look, she could be simply hiding in the basement of the Succubus Club.
Yeah.
But he did specifically say to leave the city.
Maybe she did.
Well,
But she'll need to come back soon. So if she revealed her bonding to Annabelle, to Father, that's something that he would be aware of. And whether he's willing to put her through torture, keeping her out of the city, or he acknowledges the fact that she will need to feed off Annabelle at some point in time in the near future. Shit might be going down quicker than we thought.
Then we've really got to do whatever we're going to do then.
I wanted to tell... I should have told you when I first saw you this evening, but I figured maybe Val was just blood drunk at the Succubus Club and would show up at some time.
You didn't leave, though.
No. I told Dad where to stick it. He got pretty visibly upset. and drop me off.
That must have been the look.
Felt good.
I bet it did.
The two of you, it makes you wonder why you weren't chosen. Perhaps deep down, maybe you know why. But it's
Oh, yeah.
interesting. It's interesting that Silas and Val were called by your father and not the two of you.
Thanks for not leaving.
Look, I know we've had rocky relationships, but I wouldn't just leave like that.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Silas. I really hope we hear from Val soon.
Hopefully.
Good confirmation, though.
Like-
If we didn't have it already. Dorian, he's very happy to throw you and I away.
Yeah.
Maybe that just hardens your resolve, though. Right?
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go home.
I have to go to the Chantry. Willow, where are you going?
Home?
Like I said, take it easy.
I will.
Well, whoever's closest can be dropped off first.
Yes. And it is just that Marcus takes each of you to your individual places. Silas, you're actually the first one to be dropped off, then Willow, then Dorian. And you all take your separate paths for the rest of the evening. But before we conclude our story for the evening, Silas, you did tell Deucible you would see him tonight.
I did.
And after a couple of hours, you see him return from the event back to the Chantry, and you hear his footsteps down the hallway, down to his office.
He would have, he would have brought the trunk into his lab, but he wouldn't have opened it yet. He wants to do things and check it and stuff like that. So he's not going to touch that yet. But yeah, as soon as, if he hears Deucible coming in, he would go up to his office and knock on the door.
You knock, you hear him from the other side come in.
Regent Deucible,
Silas.
I hope you had a good time at the party.
It was certainly a exquisite event, one would say.
That is a good way to put it.
The technology is quite fascinating, though you can't help but wonder if there is some underlying purpose for such devices.
The thought did cross my mind. I wonder if it could potentially sense blood resonance or certain illnesses. Something that we could use to our advantage.
That is what I suspect as well. It seems we are once again on the same page.
But let's not talk about gaudy jewelry. You had something to discuss with me.
Yes, I wanted to discuss with you the ritual that you and I had discussed prior.
Of course, yes.
I'm getting closer to finalizing it. I would estimate that within the next month it will be ready.
I'm glad to
However,
hear it.
There is one more thing I need, and perhaps I could use your help and your assets, your family wealth, perhaps, to help with this one. But in order to perform the ritual, we need something of great value. We need a landmark from the city.
A landmark.
Yes, a landmark. Perhaps it's something we can purchase and use. It could be a certain location that we buy for nobody else to inhabit, or perhaps something within the city of Chicago that can help represent the city truly. That'll help us with this ritual and understand more about the city when we perform the ritual.
Okay, couple landmarks come to mind. Anything particular you're looking for?
Just something that I know will be useful for us for this ritual. Something that truly embodies the city. I think the more it represents the city as a whole, the more we can get an idea of not just one particular region, but the city as a whole.
Okay. I will do some research into the various locations around the city. I mean, a few come to mind. The lions outside of the Art Institute, the Bean, the Sears Willis, whatever it's called nowadays, Tower. All things
I can
that
see
are...
the headlines now. The Lysander family purchases the Chicago Bean.
Yes. Would be fun.
Indeed.
I mean, it is an art installation, and if art can't be purchased, what is the means of creating it?
Of course.
I will look
Well,
into it.
Yes. If you wouldn't mind, in the next week or 2 weeks or so, I know these types of business dealings, trying to secure something like that, will require a lot of legwork. I don't think it'll be something, well, you are the Lysanders. Perhaps it can happen overnight. But think on it, and whatever you come up with, I'm sure it will be of great use to us in this ritual.
I will be in touch.
Thank you, Silas.
One last thing before I take your leave. I did what you asked. I spoke to Simone.
I trust it went well.
As well as it could be expected. She was quite troubled at the current comings and goings of the city. I think the recent Hunter attack and the recent Garu shook her a little bit. I haven't spoken to her in a couple nights now, but I would like to think I made an impression.
I'm glad to hear. When I break the news to her that I will deny her request, perhaps now the blow will be a little less painful for her.
Here's to hoping.
Yes.
Well, have a good rest of your night, Regent.
You as well, Silas.
And Silas will take his leave.
You see him turn his back to his desk as you shut the door and head down the hallway of the Chantry. And with that, I think we will conclude our story for this evening, as there is much to think on. The things with your sister, the things with our upcoming ritual, the things with Caden, and of course, the ever-looming threat of the things with the hunters. That in the coming weeks likely will be a threat that needs to be faced head with everything that you have. But for now, that is a story for another evening. Thanks, everybody, for joining us for Ancestral Blood. We will be back in a couple of weeks for the next episode. And I think it will also be a week or so of time for everybody to kind of sit and simmer on things. So, Lysanders, just think about some of the ideas you have for your own next moves, or plans that you may want to present to your siblings. For when we return with more Ancestral Blood, and not just this episode, but the following episodes, it'll certainly be a time for decisions to be made, for bigger moves to be pushed forward. And we will see what exactly those moves are in the coming nights. So thanks again, everybody. We'll be back on Monday for Dragon Age and Tuesday for Ignite Recall. So see you next week for the rest of our Magi RPG shows. That's all for now. Have a good evening, everybody.
Have a good night.
Don't let the beast win.